Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really going to focus in on large language models, specifically how you can get the most out of them.
Right. There's so much noise out there.
Exactly. So we've looked at some sources, and it really boils down to maybe three core ideas you need to grasp.
Hmm.
And the goal here is simple, give you that practical understanding, so you get better results without needing a PhD in computer science.
Yeah. Think of it as the quick start guide, the essentials for actually using these things effectively.
Okay, let's jump in. First up, tokens. Our sources describe these as like the fundamental pieces LLMs use.
For language, yeah, it's how they see the text, not necessarily whole words, which is kind of interesting.
Right, not always whole words. So like,
Well, a simple word like apple, that's probably just one token, but something more complex, say unbelievable,
they
that
go,
might get broken down, maybe into unbelieve and able, three tokens instead of one word.
I see. So it's about how the machine actually reads it, the granularity.
Exactly. And knowing that helps you understand how it processes your prompts and how it constructs its replies. It also gives you a sense of scale, like how much text can it handle. That relates to token limits.
Okay, that makes sense. So units of meaning for the machine. Got it. What about the next piece, the context window? What's that?
The context window, essentially, it's the LLM's short-term memory for the current conversation.
Short-term memory, like remembering the last few things we said.
Precisely. It holds the tokens, those pieces we just talked about from your prompt, and the recent responses. It's what allows the model to keep track of the ongoing dialogue.
So it doesn't just respond to the very last thing I typed. It looks back a bit.
Yes, exactly. The size of that window determines how much it can look back. A bigger window means it can remember more of the conversation, which helps maintain coherence, relevance, especially in longer interactions.
Right. And the flip side is, if the conversation gets too long.
Then things might fall out of the window. It might forget details or instructions from much earlier in the chat. It's a limitation you need to be aware of.
Okay, good to know. So tokens are the blocks. Context window is the memory. How do we actually control the output? That's where parameters come in.
That's right, control parameters. These are basically the knobs and dials you can adjust to influence how the LLM responds.
Knobs and dials, I like that. Okay, what are some key ones?
Well, the sources mention max output token limit. That one's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it sounds like it just sets the maximum length of the answer in tokens.
Exactly. Short answer needed. Set it low. Need something in depth. Allow more tokens.
Simple enough. What else?
Then there's temperature. This one's quite interesting. It controls the predictability, or you could say the creativity of the response.
Creativity, how so?
A low temperature, say close to zero, makes the output very focused, very predictable, good for factual answers, sticking to the most likely words.
Okay.
But if you crank the temperature up, you introduce more randomness. The model might pick less common words, take more risks. That can be useful for brainstorming or, creative writing tasks.
Okay. So low is focused, high is more imaginative.
Pretty much. Then you have things like stop sequences.
Stop sequences.
Yeah, specific words or even punctuation that you define. When the model generates one of these, it just stops. Useful if you want the output to end in a particular way or prevent it from rambling.
Handy. What about top P? That sounds a bit technical.
It is a little, but the idea is it influences word selection. The model calculates probabilities for the next possible words. Top P tells it to only consider the most likely words that add up to a certain probability mass, like, say, the top 90%.
So it sort of prunes the less likely, potentially weird options, helps keep it sensible.
You got it. Keeps the output more coherent, generally. And related to that, you sometimes see frequency and presence penalties.
Penalties, what are they penalizing?
Repetition, basically.
Yeah.
Frequency penalty makes the model less likely to use a word again if it's already used it a lot in the current response. And presence penalty discourages it from using a word if it's already appeared at all in the response so far. Just makes the output less repetitive, more varied, keeps it from sounding like a broken record.
Right, stops it getting stuck on certain phrases.
Especially useful sometimes in longer generated texts.
So, wow, okay.
Oh.
By adjusting these things, length, creativity, stopping points, word choices, you can actually guide the LLM quite a bit. It's not just throwing text in and hoping for the best.
Absolutely. Understanding these even at a basic level, tokens, context window, parameters, it really changes how you can approach interacting with these models. You move from just prompting to sort of directing.
Yeah, you see behind the curtain a little bit.
Yeah.
So, quick recap for everyone listening. Tokens are the basic building blocks, the context window is the LLM's working memory for your chat, and parameters are your tools to fine-tune what you get back.
Well put.
So here's something to think about. Now that you understand these fundamentals just a bit better, how might that change the way you use an LLM next time? Could it unlock completely new ways for you to leverage this technology?
Something to definitely mull over.
Thanks for diving in with us today.